What's going on, y'all? My name is Brian Sanchez, and welcome to Living the Magic. The clickbaity title is 100% true. I have some confessions to make. And for someone who has a Disney podcast and is as big a Disney fan as I am, there's three total. The first two, you might be able to see how it could happen. The last one, though, there's no excuse. And it's something that, I think about kind of often. And all three of these confessions are leading to what our priorities are on our next Disney trip, which is coming up in November. Really excited to go on this trip and right these three wrongs. So I'm going to confess three things about my Disney fandom that I'm a little bit ashamed of. And the last one, is definitely the big one. So, look, confession number one. I took my wife on her very first Disney trip in 2018. And at the time, the Magic Kingdom fireworks show had just moved over from being Wishes to Happily Ever After. And I was in that camp of folks that really loved Wishes, and I was kind of sad to see it go. But I saw the videos and the initial reaction of what Happily Ever After was, and if we weren't going to be able to keep Wishes, Happily Ever After was a fantastic replacement for it. We never got to see it. I am a little bit ashamed that on our very first trip to the Magic Kingdom, I did not get to watch fireworks in front of the castle with my wife. We ended up getting the opportunity to go eat at Be Our Guest with some friends of ours, very last minute. They had extra dining plan credits. That's how long ago this was. And so they basically were like, hey, we were able to get Be Our Guest reservations during the fireworks. Do you want to come and eat at Be Our Guest for free? And so we were like, yeah, we were a little bummed that we weren't going to get to see the fireworks, but it was something that my wife really wanted to do, go eat at Be Our Guest. And so we were able to take advantage of that opportunity. But that is priority number one, I think, is to watch fireworks in front of the castle. Now, of course, Happily Ever After is no longer there, and we have Enchantment, which notoriously at this point, if you're a Disney fan, is not as beloved, let's say, as Happily Ever After or Wishes was. But at least standing in front of the castle to see a full-blown fireworks show. We saw Hallowishes on that trip. We went to a Halloween party, but there weren't full-blown projections and all that stuff on the castle the way they're doing fireworks shows now. So that is priority number one. And confession, I have never watched fireworks in front of the castle with my wife, and that is priority number one. We're going to watch fireworks in front of the castle on this trip. Confession number two, we were really excited to go see the Pandora, the World of Avatar at Animal Kingdom, and we got to go experience it, and it was incredible. We rode Flight of Passage, and it was a mind-blowing experience. It took my breath away in a way that I was not expecting. Even Na'vi River Journey was a surprisingly delightful ride. I mean, the wait gets really long for what it is, but I thought it was incredible. And the fact that, Pandora made such an impression on us is incredible, because we fell in love with Satuli Canteen and the whole area. And it's really incredible considering that we never set foot in Pandora at night. And that's confession number two. I have yet to set foot in Pandora during the nighttime, which many would argue is the whole point of the land. As incredible as the attraction is, and as incredible as Satuli Canteen is, which is, one of my favorite restaurants anywhere on Disney property. I think it's a great value and all that stuff. But The whole point of the area was to walk around the bioluminescent glowing area, at night, and to hear the music and the animal sounds and all that stuff. And we just didn't do it. We, instead of staying the entire day at Animal Kingdom, again, we ended up park hopping out of Animal Kingdom right around sunset, which we probably, now thinking about it, kind of should have just stayed for like an extra hour just to walk around in there when it was dark and then gone over to Epcot. But that's what we ended up doing. We park hopped, bounced out of Epcot out of Animal Kingdom over to Epcot, and missed the bioluminescent light show that is Pandora, the World of Avatar at night. So that is confession number 2. I have yet to see the glowing nature that is Pandora, the World of Avatar, and that is priority number 2 on this upcoming trip. We are definitely not leaving Animal Kingdom until nighttime, until we've seen that whole area. But honestly, those two you could probably say are, okay. They're not the biggest things, biggest issues, confessions or whatever. This last one, though, however, is something that, again, I've never done, and there's no excuse for me not having ever done this. And I'll just come on and say it. I have never ridden Splash Mountain. Not once. I've been going to the Magic Kingdom since I was an infant. I believe I was only like 3 or 4 months old the first time my family took me to the Magic Kingdom. But we used to go, at least once a year when we were living in Tampa. It was probably, good 4 or 5 trips, a year. Definitely during the summers and stuff. We would definitely be, at the Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom was our favorite park. When I was really little, it was only Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and then, MGM, Hollywood Studios opened, and we were there all the time. But and this is an attraction that my family loves. My mom, my brother, they love thrill rides, but me as a child, I was always terrified of attractions like this. And so anytime that they tried to get me on it, I would throw a massive fit. I would panic, I would scream and cry, and I just could not summon the courage to get on this attraction. And into adulthood, now it's not a fear of the attraction, because thrill rides are my jam now. We just got back from, our honeymoon. I just got back. It's been, months and months and months. But we went to Universal and I rode the Velocicoaster, and it was the most incredible, thrill ride I've ever been on. And I wanted to go on it again, and I will continue to be riding that thing. I love roller coasters. I love thrill rides. And so at this point as an adult, what became this attitude was every time we went, it was a water ride, and I didn't have either like a change of clothes or didn't particularly want to get wet, or was in the winter time and the attraction was down for refurbishments. There was always like some kind of weird excuse of like, we'll do it next time. It's Splash Mountain. It ain't going anywhere. And now, we're getting the changes that are coming to Splash Mountain. Now, there are no official dates as to when Splash Mountain will close, from its current iteration and be transformed into Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I believe is what it's being called. But it is happening. And so, in all honesty, looking at our situation over the next few years, this trip in November very well may be the last Disney trip that we get for a while. And very well most likely will be my absolute last chance to ride Splash Mountain. For someone who is going to turn 35 years old in a few days and having been going to the Magic Kingdom since I was months old and never having set foot on this attraction, it feels like a big giant hole in my Disney fandom that needs... Sorry, the puppy is wanting to join the podcast here. It feels like a giant hole that needs to be filled, and it is a giant priority that I am placing on our trip to the Magic Kingdom. We have a day plan in the Magic Kingdom, and I believe we're going to try and do one of the Christmas parties as well. So hopefully it will still be open at the end of this year. And maybe we'll be able to ride it at least once, hopefully twice, to really take it in. And I know it's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to fall in love with this attraction. It's going to be an incredible experience. I'm going to absolutely love it. And then it's just going to make me so sad when they change it. Again, I'm not in the camp of the purists that want this attraction to stay the way it is. I fully support the transition that they're going to make into using the characters from Princess and the Frog, Tiana, Prince Naveen, and all those. I think it's a fantastic addition and a fantastic use of an underrated Disney film. In my opinion, one of the top 3 underrated Disney films of all time, along with The Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Black Cauldron. But it is definitely, some classic old school Disney that, we're not going to have anymore. And so, yeah, that is honestly, as weird as it may be, going on a November trip around Christmas time, Splash Mountain for me is priority numero uno when it comes to our trip in November. That is my big confession. As a 35-year-old Disney fan who has no reason whatsoever to not ride thrill rides and boat rides and stuff, I have never ridden Splash Mountain. Do you have any Disney confessions? Are there any giant gaps in your Disney fandom? Is there anything that you are prioritizing on your next trip, to find one of those like never experienced things before, and experience them for the first time? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can get at me on Twitter. I'm at YourPrimoBrian. There are comments enabled on this podcast on signalpointmedia.com/livingthemagic. Let me know, because it's a really interesting thing that I started thinking about yesterday on my walk with the dog. What am I really looking forward to the most about our upcoming trip? And I realized that the 3 things I was missing or looking forward to were because I had 3 giant holes in my Disney fandom that really need to make sure that they get addressed. So anyways, that's going to do it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for watching this video or listening to the podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe so you never miss when we do these videos. I try to put one out every day. Doesn't always happen, but when news stuff comes up, we talk the news, and but other days, random little discussion, things like this. If it interests you, make sure you follow along, leave a like, leave a comment, join the discussion. But yeah, anyways, we're going to get out of here, y'all. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys around. And as always,